Okay, this is it. This is medication with my name, my recipe, everything. Let me put this on the tripod. This is recording probably sideways. I'll fix it later. And yeah, I haven't showered. I'm gonna take this pill because I just had breakfast, almost forget about it. And I need to take it with pure water, not alkaline water. Let me bring you guys here to the kitchen and let's drink this water. I grabbed the water from here. Yeah, I'm on underwears, if you saw that. And as skinny as shit. Going for 1 minute. Let me take the pill and keep talking about the after the ambush psychiatrist meeting and all the fights that evolved in the family afterwards. So I take the pill here, Medikinet, 20 milligram. It's a 2-day trial. I have only 2. It's a purple color, guys, NPH. This is a narcotic. It's QLABOT on Narcotics. I had to have breakfast before. Oh, I went to the kitchen. You probably didn't listen to me. I was looking for non-alkaline water to drink the pills, which I think is the correct thing when you take medication. I have good water. And well, let's keep going and rolling with the story about how did I get drinking these fucking pills and while doing QLA. Well, I got into family troubles and that was about it. And after the ambush meeting, if you saw part 1, I tried to give an intro about this. I was pushing for the meeting and no one answered, no one followed up. And I was offering then by myself to, okay, I'll try to find it if you don't answer. But things kept happening with family members and stuff. And up to a point, I did something to some family members that one of my sister siblings, called me yelling. I've scheduled the meeting with this psychiatrist, psychologist, or whatever. Blah 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 blah. Like, why are you yelling at me? Blah blah blah. Because I can hardly hold it anymore. You're going to the psychiatrist. Okay, wow. I've been asking for 2 weeks after the ambush meeting for this. Okay, so that's how I started, and eventually, because of my schedule, it was done like a month afterward, and that was my first meeting. So because I was knowing this and I've heard about Mr. Peña talking about people going to psychiatrists and getting into crazy institutions and and then even like getting out of the mental institution, escaping all that. So I was like kind of tense. But not at that level, but I was like, okay, let's start documenting all this shit. And I went to the psychiatrist. I went to the wrong building. I arrived late, so I switched parking space and went to the correct building, which was the next building, all that shit. And I asked to be recorded and if it was no trouble. And she was like, why? I think she was thinking about legal proof or something, because these psychologists are also like working with legal departments and all that, so it's like a complete thing. And now I figured that. But she said, okay, I usually don't do this, but let's do it. And I don't know if he also recorded that. I told her whatever. So I was into that. Oh God, I hit myself really hard, and my feet is bleeding, the nail in the middle. I didn't know that. Now it's all sticky. I'm been walking barefoot. Anyways, and I'll check that later. And the psychologist told me she was going to record or not or whatever. I start recording with the camera, so I'm on film HD. That video is there. I'll probably be sharing it eventually, because these pains, I don't want anyone to be living on these pains, these obstacles, these things that you just heard from Mr. Peña that doesn't seem true. And you will find it, and because you don't know how to deal with people you have trusted and lived with all your life, many decades, then how do you deal with this? And it's all true. And I took the charge to handle it, because we are QLABOTs, we can handle anything, and really, if you handle everything, you're gonna be dispersed and dividing your time in more things than just QLA, and taking longer. And this is the reason why it's taking longer. I thought it was gonna be a slam dunk, an easy home run, just deal with family, and they're being a pain in the fucking ass. And so I've been adapting to try to know how to deal with them, and this process has changed. So they've seen me like erratic. Oh, you want to talk? Then you don't want to talk. Then, so because I'm adapting to their changing energies and postures and non-comment and silence and all that. But I found the tools. I found QLA-like tools to have them sit with me because I demand it. And that's a topic for the future, but that's the reason I was recording and expecting to do this. I have big plans, and I told her, you and I are going to change the world. To this psychologist, I thought she was a psychiatrist because I didn't know where they sent me, and at the start. So I told her, we're going to change life, whatever. And my session lasted more than 1 hour. I told her, because back then I had some money, I told her, I don't mind if this goes long. This is the first meeting, whatever. And she was like, okay. So it was recorded, and as with any sessions, I guess if you don't cry, it's not a fucking real session. But I was in pain because probably my family is dead, and I don't want to accept it. Although they are alive, they're living, they're trying to deal with me or dealing with me. They're at this moment, this is a new phrase from a few months ago. At this moment, they're dead, and I'm dealing with their death, although they are alive. I'm trying to make sense of all this craziness. So back then, I was like mourning the fact that they're almost non-existent, giving me a hard time, and avoiding me when I'm looking for them. It's really toxic. Wanting to talk some topics, some others, yes, but the relevant topics are not being talked. So the foundation of the relationship is shit, and they want to talk about high performance, high profile topics or high value topics when the foundation is shit. So this video, I'll make it short because this is the first visit to my psychiatrist. I think I did too. I need to check on that. And I'll leave this with the most insight I had, because I came out really laughing or happy or everything, and I told my siblings who ambushed me to be there. During the session, I told them what I was doing, buying multi-million-dollar companies. I never done this. People have done it. My siblings want proof that I do it before they believe in me, whatever. And I told her there are ways, ugly ways, to get things done, and I don't want to use them in this process. And then she told me, because I was telling her all the pains I had just to schedule a meeting to talk about something, and then they want to know the something to then try to schedule the meeting, and if I don't tell the something, which is a hard topic, no one wants to talk about, and if I say it, the meeting is not gonna be scheduled. So it's a back and forth fight, and she told me like, oh, this is really draining you. Why don't you take legal measures? And like, yeah, but at the end, that's my last resort. It's really ugly and shitty. And she told me, that's the only way. That's the only way. And I was leaving it to the end. I was delaying it. I was avoiding it, being condescending, being empathic, not putting a limit, not saying no. So you start connecting QLA with what phrases I've just used. Being empathetic, not putting limits. And then it all makes sense. By a psychologist who recommended it probably as the first thing. So that was life-changing. I pay whatever for you to have this session and you to listen to the end of this video, because this is the most important thing you can handle on, so people, humans, do stuff legally. So connect this with Sto Pro Veritate. We stand for the truth. We are QLABOTs. So the truth will set us free. And the truth is what unites us. So on a society based on fake, on lies, it's not going to advance. So I'm going to move into other topics, but this is a spiritual fight, and you need to have a good foundation spiritually to be a QLABOT. I'll finish with this because goosebumps, guys, goosebumps, and just fucking do it.